Hello, stargazers. Thanks for joining me again. Today we're talking about the conjunction between Uranus and the North Node in Aries, as well as Mars joining this conjunction. This conjunction occurs about every 15 years, therefore it is considered a fairly rare conjunction and marks a major transition time for the collective. The North Node is the karmic point that points us forward, the direction that we're aiming in. It's the direction that the collective is heading. It's the future, so to speak. What the nodes are, North and South Node. They are referred to as the lunar nodes, and they are the points in the sky where the sun and moon eclipse each other. And these points are always moving. They go around the whole zodiac. And so for this year, right now, we have the North Node in Aries. North Node has been in Aries since May of 2022, so that is fairly recent. Aries is a bit on the smaller side compared to the rest of the signs. When you're looking through this perspective of 13 Sign True Sidereal Astrology, if you didn't know, that's what I do. It aligns the sky as it truly is in real time and not to fit a calendar or some type of man-made construct. So it takes the sky in real time, the constellations in their true size, and also includes the 13th sign that is the lower half does enter the ecliptic. So we count it. But anyway, with that being said, Uranus will be in Aries until 2024, so spending about 5 years. And the last time Uranus was in Aries was in 1935 to 1940. So it's been a long time. And anytime a planet of this magnitude of this slow of movement, Uranus is an outer planet. Anytime it makes a transit, enters a new sign, we pay a lot of attention to that as a collective, because the outer planets aren't considered personal planets because they move so slowly that we often don't have a very varying difference in the position according to our age groups. So many of us born within a certain window of time will share the same position of the outer planets, therefore they are considered collective planets. So when Uranus approaches the North Node, again, the karmic path for movement forward for the collective, it's the future, it's energy that we are stepping into, interacts, we have to pay a lot of attention. And so what does Uranus represent? Uranus is the cosmic change maker. It is a very abrupt and sudden energy, often associating with the element of electricity or lightning. Big bright flash, very obvious, catches your attention. It is shocking, to say the least. Uranus deals with sudden awakenings. This is the sign of the revolutionary, somebody who doesn't follow tradition. This is an energy of basically going against the grain to create something new, a forward thinker, a futuristic energy. It rules the sign of Aquarius and the 11th house in the zodiac. And so we have this sudden cosmic change maker with the karmic movement forward. And so you know that we are going to be dealing with energy that is abrupt and sudden to change the course of our future. And so with Mars here, again, these are positioned in Aries. So with Mars here, Mars being our action force, Mars is a personal planet moving much faster around the zodiac, is here to support, but not support in the way of feeling real comfortable, but support the speed that Uranus has. And so this is a very sudden awakening. The term that I give to this is the collective awakening that is going to happen is basically the story of the emperor has no clothes. If you're unfamiliar with that, it has to do with basically disillusionment, waking up to see what is really happening, that we have been fooled, that the wool's been pulled over the eyes of the masses. So it doesn't mean that there is going to be an event necessarily on the day of or within the window of this alignment, but it does mean that this is basically the catalyst, the starting point for the beginning of a very rapid awakening. So we can put a marker in and say this is a catalyst. So the conjunction begins July 26th, today as I'm recording this. I wrote the dates down over here. So the North Node and Uranus will be conjunct within 1 degree of each other until August 11th. Mars will be conjunct with them until August 3rd. So Mars leaves the party a little early. Again, a much faster moving planetary body. They'll be finished activating and pushing this energy forward, and this energy will finish out, and North Node and Uranus will go their separate ways on the 11th of August. So this is a fairly decent sized window. Again, I'm not saying that there's going to necessarily be a trigger event, but that this is a catalyst, that this does open up the energy. This does mark a new awakening. The last time that the North Node and Uranus were conjunct together, it was not in Aries, but it was a conjunction between the two. And this was in 2007. And if everyone remembers, the year 2007 leading up to 2008 market crash, we are in a similar type of position where we may have some type of financial crash leading up to, or some type of big reveal. As many know, at this point, we are in a shifting of society. We have a great awakening that is occurring. People are beginning to see beyond the veil. We are beginning to see that what we were told and what is happening are two different things. People are beginning to lose faith in their governments, lose faith in authority figures, and as we can see, inflation is rising. I mean, we don't have to be paying that much attention to notice most of these things. And if you are paying attention to the subtle shifts, you will see that there is a splitting of the realms. This is a whole different topic that I would love to flow on. I call it the bifurcation of reality. I did not make up this name, but this is what I do refer to it as. There is a splitting of this dimensional plane that we are on, and there is a higher ascending path and a lower descending path as the dimensions begin to part. So I do believe that this is a possible catalyst that will make that splitting more obvious. We've already seen such an even split. 50% of the world is one way, 50% of the world views another. There is a much bigger splitting in reality that we can observe in every day. And so we know for a fact that we are in these very different shifting times. There is no such thing as normal. All of that has pretty much been destabilized. And the reason why crisis occurs, the reason why all this uncertainty occurs, is so that we can have opportunities to awaken. I like to make this analogy as if people were sleeping in a bed. If you were sleeping in a bed and you were so comfortable, would you wake up? Chances are you wouldn't. But if your back starts hurting, if you're getting uncomfortable, maybe you're getting too hot, maybe you're getting too cold, whatever it is, being uncomfortable is what creates movement. And so the collective as a whole, as a reality, in order for this life to function, we have to go through ups and downs. And so what is to come, whether we look at it as a new beginning or a destruction of the old, they are two sides of the same reality. So this is a catalyst event. This is not something that is just a small thing. We will look back on this event as astrologers for sure and know that this was the marker, whether or not this is marked by a specific happening in the news or happening in our reality, or just something that kickstarts a very fast movement forward where a lot of things begin to happen at once, almost like a domino effect. But yes, the emperor will have no clothes. We are seeing through the veil. We are seeing the collective reality start to have a losing from the spell, right? The spell that everyone was under. We are no longer being hypnotized into this way of being. We are waking up, we are uncomfortable, and we see what is happening. So make sure that during this time period that you are grounding within yourself, anchor into your being, make sure that you are secure, that the material world doesn't dictate how you feel. Make sure you have a very strong connection to spirit moving forward if you don't already. It is crucial. It is a survival tool at this point. It is a necessity moving forward. I mentioned in my last video talking about the new moon that is happening during this planetary conjunction, and it is to have greater compassion. So have compassion with yourself during this time, have compassion for others who may be very confused, heartbroken, disillusioned, upset from whatever is to come from this catalyst event, and stay sane. It's a lot easier to say than it is to be done. But many of us who have gone through the collective shadow work have kind of already had our reality crumble, our perceptions fall apart. When your reality begins to fall apart, it's not all hope is lost. It's actually a lot more freeing than one might think. And so even though change can be scary, change is also incredibly liberating. If there's one thing that Uranus does, Uranus is looking to free and to liberate and to remove from authoritarian, to remove from rule. It's to have a real sovereign energy. And so I do believe that this could be, in a reflection wise, the very beginning of watching the sovereignty of the people take place. And again, all awakenings come through a form of destruction. So have no fear as the reality that we have all learned, have grown up in, are familiar with, begins to dissolve even more so than it has already in 2020. But don't forget that Uranus only just entered Aries in April of 2019. And so it hasn't been long. And Aries is a very short window for Uranus, only 5 years compared to Pisces, who is much longer. And so in this period of time, it's almost like a shaking. We're being sifted, we're being filtered through. And those of us who can adapt, who can, stay calm and not panic and focus on ourselves instead of the outside events, we're going to be okay. We're going to be able to move through this. We're going to be able to adapt, and we're going to have to be able to be the ones who put our hands out and help the others who maybe didn't have such an easy time. And so this is a big planetary alignment. Tell your friends if they're feeling crazy, what's going on. Give support to your loved ones, give support to your friends. We are witnessing a major part in history in our astrological connection to what is to come, and awareness is key. Don't forget to align with the true sky, stay up to date so that you can see the shifting in real time. Aligning with the present moment, aligning with the actual celestial positions is really important and potent. It's one of the survival tools here for sure. And so follow me at Starkeeper Astrology on Instagram, or go to starkeeperastrology.com. Don't forget to subscribe to my email list, become a stargazer, and stay aligned.